Good afternoon, everyone. Lovely to meet you. This is Lisa Ware, Senior Group Leader. And today we're delving into the first of many ways that we can prospect people for our business to show them how they can reduce their bills. All right. And maybe they might be interested in earning fantastic income to give them financial stability. So the first way that we're working at is the most obvious way, which initially is all about a warm contact list. Okay. And I've posed the question, and it's a rhetorical question to you all, and you might like to write this down, but just think about this. What do you think is the best way to contact people? Would it be face to face? Would it be through Zoom? Would it be calling them on the phone? Would it be sending them an email? Would it be sending them a letter? Sending them a WhatsApp message? A text? An Instagram? A Facebook Messenger? I don't know. There's so many ways these days, aren't there? Isn't there lots of ways that we can contact people? Well, that rhetorical question, I'm sure you know that the best way ever is being face to face, but that's not always possible. And then I would say to you that the next best way is probably picking up the phone. Yeah, because they can still hear your passion, they can hear your excitement, your intonation. I think you can iron out any ambiguity. And just to share with you that today, well, actually, it was yesterday, I sent an email to Andrew Lindsay, and it just shows you how ambiguity can step in and how bad it can be. So let's explain to you. I send an email and I used some irony, but he didn't pick up the irony. I said they were a fascinating set of questions that a prospect had given to a partner, and he didn't hear the irony that I was using the word fascinating and I was actually being as sarcastic as hell. I thought they were really stupid, but that's the problem with the written word. So I got perhaps not the nicest retort back from Andrew. And then I replied that I was using irony, excuse me. And then he wrote back and said, "Oh, I'm really sorry. I missed that, Lisa." And we got it ironed out. But the problem with the written word is it can be mistaken. And I've said this till I'm blue in the face. I know people don't want to pick up the phone. I know they don't. Excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat. They want to text, to WhatsApp, they want to send a message because basically they don't want to jump into the adventure zone. They want to stay in the comfort zone. Is that not right? Yes, it is. But the problem is you're setting yourself up for a fall. And I've said this before, and I'm going to repeat it. And yes, I'm a stuck gramophone record. But if you send a message, you may get a response in the next minute, hour, day, week, month, maybe never. That's the problem. It's not communication. It's a message. It's just going out there. So you've got to pick up the phone. And Zoom is good because, again, you're kind of almost recreating what it's like to be face to face. And you can see a person's body language to a certain degree. You can hear them and see them. So I want to share something with you. I've done this before, but I think it's really poignant. So I'm going to share my screen, hopefully with the right things. And I want to share. Okay. Tell me, are you seeing a rather bad drawing of a RUW biz stall? Could somebody just give me the thumbs up so I know? Brilliant. Okay. Now, this was given to me many years ago, and I thought, what a great idea. So when you start out and you're in your early days, you may not have that much background of belief. And if you imagine this as a belief stool, a typical stool has three legs. If someone knocks one of your beliefs, that will topple over, won't it? Absolutely. And you could basically say that you probably emotionally feel crushed. And by the way, all of us are very feeling emotive people. We work on feelings, we don't work on logic. Okay. But imagine if you managed to get a belief system, a stool that looked perhaps not quite like that, but you get my drift. Okay. As you can see, my prowess in drawing is in full. But the idea is, imagine having so much confidence because you've got so much belief, because you know so much. If somebody goes and says to you, I'll give you the typical, oh, that's a pyramid scheme. Do you know what? It's just water off a duck's doodah. It means nothing to me. All right. And that's what you're aiming for. Now, how do you get like that? Well, there is no short change. You have got to do the do. You have got to get the practice. The more you do it, the quicker it happens. But one of the things you can do, and we teach this in the beginning, is to create a contact list. And we give out this thing called a memory jogger. It's an acronym, FROGS: Friends, Family, Recreational, Occupational, Geographical, Same Name Contacts. And I think you're all seeing that, if I'm correct. Yeah, cool. It gives you a fair idea of all the people that you could come in contact with. I actually think it's really quite good, because instead of only having a contact list of maybe 10 people, so if you phone the first 3 for practice and they're not available, it doesn't matter. You've got more people to contact. Now watch this, folks. Imagine having this, the ultimate memory jogger. Take a look at this. It's telling you, giving you ideas, members of your family, lists you might already have. Look at that. I mean, that alone, that's huge. Your closest friends who you associate with regularly. Look at this. Giving you masses of ideas. People say to me, I don't know anyone. And I think, yes, you do. You've just not got the recall. That's all. Those you do business with. Look, loads and loads and loads of ideas. Look at it. Loads of people. Look at the next. Look at this. It goes on. Those you've been associated with in the past. Who sold me my? And it gives you loads of ideas. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Where did you get your vacuum cleaner from? Have you had your vacuum cleaner serviced? I use a Dyson, and about 2 months ago, we've got an upright, a ball one, and we've also got a handheld one. And they really needed servicing, because they're not cheap, these things, are they? They're pretty expensive. But you know what? I instantly made friends with the person I was in front of in the shop, which happens to be over in Christchurch. Great. And there's a few people amongst that person I talked to that could also spread the word. I mean, look, there's just honestly, there is so much here. If someone says, I don't know someone, then they must be living on an island all on their own, because this is crazy. I mean, this gives you some great ideas. Look, yeah, I've got a chiropractor. I've got a builder. I'm about to have a load of builders. No, I don't know a basketball player. Certainly know some barbers. Ha! Now there's a profession that's diminishing. Banking professionals. Need to reach out to some of those people, poor things. And it goes on. Look at all these people. Please tell me, if I sent you that, would that help you grow your list more? If it didn't, there'd be something seriously wrong. Look at all those people. That there's got to be people there that will spring to mind and add. Okay, so first of all, does that give you an idea of the kind of thing that you should be looking at? I don't want to hear, I can only make a name. a list of 20 names. I don't believe it. In your life, even up to the age of 18, you've come into contact with about 2,000 people. Now, that is one part of this. But the real part of all of this is the scary bit. How do you contact them? Now, I'm going to tell you this. Nobody in the beginning wants to contact them the way that we say they should. You tell them it's the proven successful method, but everyone believes that they've come from a background of loads of skills. Don't get me wrong, we're not saying they're skillless, but they haven't got the background of this, and this is different. So contacting someone in the beginning has to be done in a certain fashion. And I say to them, I am now your driving instructor. And I'm going to give you the driving instructions so you can pass your test. If you deviate from those instructions, I absolutely promise you, you will not pass your test. It could take another year or two. And do you really want to wait that long? So if you can follow exactly what we say, it will work. So I'm now going to share. Just bear with me while I get it. Oh, no, I can't do that. Hang on. I can do that then. I'm now going to share with you the next thing. And it is there. Okay, let's get you guys back. I do have the technology. I can rebuild. There we go. Let's go share. Okay, I know that you lot are now seeing the script. Now, I have recently pre-seed this. This is a culmination of years of I know it works, because when I started out, this was exactly what I did, and it worked for me. It's worked for hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people. I don't know why people think this wouldn't work. So I've pre-seeded it, and I've taken what the company has done and I have made it what I feel is a bit foolproof. So look, let's go for it. Let's pretend we are speaking to John. Good old John. So hi, John, how are you? This is your friend, yeah? Listen, it's just a quick call. Why do we say that? Because if you don't say it's a quick call, what will happen is you will go into chit chat. And we women are particularly good at that. We are so good at chit chatting. We can chit chat all day long. So you've got to preface it immediately with it's just a quick call, because that will make them realize and be a bit alert. Now you're going to say to them, and I've taken this from what I heard at Power Up. I've just started a new, I like the word project. I think it's better than business. I actually think it's better than venture. I like project. I'm in my training phase. And in order to complete my training, I need to book 6 practice appointments. It's all about practice for me to get away from the theory. And I would really value your opinion. Listen, if you ring a mate, or if you ring, I don't know, an auntie or whatever, and you say that you value their opinion, do you not think that that is really a nice thing to do, a nice thing to say? Yeah. I'm looking to do these in an over the phone or over the internet presentation. And would you do me a massive favour and let us show it to you? Would you kindly be one of my important first 6 people to practice on? You could say, do you know, I've got to find 6 people that I'm going to get some practice with. A bit like sitting in the seat of a car with a driving instructor. And you can't learn to drive in a parked car. And so I was thinking of all the nice people that are helpful and I value their opinion. And you were one of the first people I thought of. Oh my God, what a lovely thing to say to someone. Why would they not be flattered? Yeah. Now, they're probably, if they've got a bit of a brain, they're probably going to say, what's it all about? So then you would say, well, it's all about a discount club that gives you money back on your everyday spending. How would you like money back on your everyday spending? And then you move into what we call the alternative close. In order for their brains to function, to think, I need to look at my diary or my calendar. Because if you said to someone, are you free next week? I've had new people say to me, I cannot pin them down to an appointment. And I know full well that they are saying to them, oh, when are you free? That's no good. You can't do that. You've got to actually help their brains go, you say, oh, so look, next week, are you possibly free in the evening on Monday or Tuesday? And then you would pin it down to, would that be 6, 7, or 8? Because what you're doing is helping them realize they've actually got to seriously think about this. That's the way you get people to actually do stuff. Because if you just ask them, are you free? It's never going to be. They'll never be free. I absolutely promise you. If you said to me, are you free next week? I would probably go, no, I'm really busy. And I wouldn't even bother looking at the diary. So, guys, this stuff works. Now, here's a big thing here. Oh, this is huge. We all know if you don't get both people that are decision makers in the house on this remote appointment or whatever, what happens is one partner who's watched it and goes, cool, that's good. Oh, I love that. And they even say, oh, give me a comparison, please. You do it all, you show them, let's be realistic. You show them, let's say, 800 quid saving a year, a meaningful sum of money. And then they turn around and they go, oh, but I better run this by Cynthia. Now, what John does, John goes back to Cynthia and goes, all excited, oh, Cynthia, Lisa's found this fantastic, she's doing this new thing. Oh my God, we can save loads of money on our gas and our electric and our home insurance. Oh, and there's this incredible credit card. And Cynthia goes, John, do you not trust me? Do you not believe I've done the best for us? Ego at play. This is what goes on. All right. So the reality is you've got to get them both there. And I promise you, it works the other way around. I tell you what somebody in one of the groups said, and I found this quite interesting actually. A comment was, I think it might have been on the UW forum. I don't know why, but if I get to speak to the woman of the house, it's always the man that does the bills. And weirdly, if I get to speak to the man, it's always the woman that does the bills. How does that work? Well, I tell you what happens. It's not true. It's a rebuff. That's what it is. It's a way of not committing. Okay. But if you had them both there, and I want you to really take this on board. Imagine you're brand new and you have gone out there and you said, I've got a new project, and you keep to the script. They come to the appointment without any preconceived notions at all. They've got no idea. And I'll tell you what, there's a lady that's not showing her screen, and I know why, because of where she is, and her name's Maureen. And I kept saying to Maureen, and also the lady I've placed her with called Asha, will you ensure that you do not tell them what it's about? Because if you do, I promise you, it won't work. What they'll do is go and do their research. And they'll find all the stuff that's bad. Is that not true? You can say to them, you know that present supplier you're with, BT, have you ever looked at the bad stuff that's said about them? And there's loads of it. In fact, there's loads of bad stuff about every single company if you want to find it. All right. And those people that post the bad stuff on the internet are usually people that haven't paid their bills. Fact. They're having a go at the company. Yeah. So what we've got to do is set them up to come completely fresh, no preconceived ideas, totally fresh, to see something they've never seen before. And when they come like that, I promise you, oh my God, it's so good. It's so good. It's actually wonderful because they're looking at it with a fresh view. And all of a sudden they're going, oh, I've never heard of this company. Wow, they give £400 to help you switch. Oh my God, your everyday spending can reduce and eliminate your bills. They've never seen this before because it doesn't exist anywhere else. It's unique. It's utility warehouse. But I know that people don't follow the system. And that's why they don't get the results. Now, what about you lovely people, the ones that I can see you, and you've been in this a while? I mean, some of you have already got well over 100 or 200 customers. I know the ones, you know who you are as well. Okay, you've got loads. Does it change the longer you're in? No. Let's be honest. Are they still quite objectionable? Yes. Do I still meet objectionable people? Yes, I do. And it's different. We've got to come at a different angle. And I was saying to someone, you've got to actually explain to them that this is unique, it's super special. And here's a great phrase that you may like to use. How about telling them exactly a story? Because people relate to stories. And I'm not on about made up stories, fictional, I'm on about real. How about saying to them, do you know, the weird thing is, all the people that I have helped them transfer their services, at the beginning, they were all a bit reticent. But the weird thing is, once they switched and they saw how lovely and simple it was, how incredible the savings were, and they just love the fact that you speak to real human beings, proper customer service, now they feel they'd never switch anywhere else. And then you could say to them, the trouble is, I can't give you that hindsight. But what you're doing is bringing it to reality and explaining to them, this is different. It's special. It's wonderful. It's real. Yeah. Like the lady on here, Maureen, I can tell you, when I was doing her services, and she would, if she was showing her face, she would be laughing because she did try to stop her broadband going over from BT. She did try to stop her mobile phones going over, but I stuck with it. And what Maureen would say to you is, it was that customer service aspect element with me that made the difference. Because what had happened, a bit unusual, she'd had a nice fitted kitchen done. And I don't know why, but the fitter had decided in his wisdom to completely block in where the router was. So like, how I know I can see some expressions, but the good news was that I said to her, do you know what? You can get to the router, but it doesn't matter about that socket. You know, the main socket. It doesn't matter that you can't get to it. All you do is take one router off and you can put the other on. You could possibly even keep the cables, the same connections, and just put them in. And Maureen did it and it all worked fine. Now, can you imagine other companies? They don't do all this kind of customer service, do they? All right. So we are different. How you have got to somehow give them, without being salesy, that this is different. And I think when you get further into it, that's how you bring on quality people. Okay. It doesn't mean there's still going to be people that are objectionable. You can't use that script because now you've been in a while. You can't say, I've just started a new project, can you? No. But do you know what you can do? You can go, oh, I just attended the most amazing annual conference. Oh, wow. They have done some incredible things. Would you do me a favour? Would you be one of the first people I could practice on? I thought of you. Yeah, you could do that. Or you could say, Listen, I know in the past I probably messed up, but would you mind if I showed you the latest developments? Because honestly, I'm sure some of it will benefit you. There are so many ways. I think the expression is, which is horrible, you can skin a cat. I don't know where that came from. Sorry, Annette, ex-vet. Sorry. But I know that there are, okay? You've got to say to yourself, there's words that you can use that are powerful, and there are words that are terrible. And when I start with a brand new person, you've heard me say this, I explain to them, let's talk about the subject of the weather. Most people, if you ask them, what do you think of the weather? Ask them that question. What do you think of the weather? They'll go, well, it's awful. It's always raining. It's cold. Here we are in May. I mean, this is unusual today. Don't hold your breath, guys. It may not last, right? But most people's view of the weather is negative. But if you ask the right question and say to them, what do you like best about the weather? What they'll do is their brain will then go, oh, what's best about, oh, well, some days it's sunny. Oh, I like the changing seasons. Very pretty. And you've now redirected their brain to think the way in a positive way. And that's where our skill comes in. Are you speaking and asking the right questions to get the right positive answers? Or are you saying things that are going to naturally bring about a negative response? One of the things you never want to do is ask a closed question. And a closed question is where you can only answer yes or no. No good. It's got to be open. It's got to be something that's open. So something like saying to them, listen, this is so wonderful. I just need to share it with you. I need to show you. Listen, even if you say no when you've seen it, but at least I'm giving you the facts and information so you can make a proper informed decision. How powerful is that? What wonderful words to put out there, because now you're giving them the power. So I'm going to now release the mute, and I'm going to ask you, please, can all unmute yourselves. Anyone got any questions? Someone must have a question. Come on.
Hi, Lisa, it's Sabrina.
Hello, Sabrina.
I wanted, I think in your helping us to understand the script, you were going to help us to understand how would we reach out to making an appointment with couples, because most people I know, they're a couple. How would I get to pin them both down if they've got different time schedules?
Okay, I think that's a really great question. Thank you so much, Sabrina. I think when you make the appointment, this is what I've done in the past. I would say to them, look, this is so important to me. I value both your opinion, okay? And I know that you work on different time schedules. So what we need to do is come together at a time that is appropriate to you both, myself and then the lady that's supporting me, to learn how to do this. And I think you have to say that right at the start. Yeah.
Okay.
That both their opinion is of great value.
Okay.
All right. And then the other thing too, Sabrina, because I really like what you've just asked there. The other thing too is, in reality, you and I both know there's usually one person ultimately that makes these decisions over bills. We know that. All right. And I know that what happens, and I kind of intimated it earlier, that one will use it against the other, like because ego is so huge, it's massive. Ego is enormous. So if one person finds something and they think, wow, and they tell the other what's going on, is that other person just feels a little bit like, well, excuse me, does that mean everything I've ever done for us you now devalue? That's the psychology. And that's what we're trying to avoid. We're trying to avoid that person's feelings being hurt, because all the time we work on emotions all the time. Okay.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else with any questions? That was a great question. Anything else? Anyone? No? That's it. So
No,
you
I
all
think that's
know
it.
everything and you're really happy. Can I just ask you, that ultimate memory jogger, I have once sent it out before. Would it be useful for me to send that out to the groups? Would people like that?
Yes.
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah, thank you.
I will send it out through the groups, okay? Because it was actually, I think it was actually done by Eric Worre. Amazing. And I remember the first time I ever set eyes on it, I thought, wow, that just helps one's mind expand. Yeah. Because in reality, we all kind of can have a bit of a closed shop, but all the time we are meeting different people every single day. We just don't realize, we don't realize it all the time. So guys, next week we will move on to another subject of prospecting. And I think given that we're coming up to the Winner Mini, no, it's not, the Winner Mint, the 20K giveaway season, I think we'll delve into that one next week, if that's all okay with everyone. Yeah? Fantastic. Guys, thank you for coming on, and I will send out the recording a bit later. And by the way, just to say, this evening, I am supporting someone on 2 back-to-back appointments. He's surprised me, because I thought of anyone, he actually would be very dogmatic in that, because he's done sales, he would do it his way, but actually he has kept to it and it's worked. So I will let everyone know how it goes, because it's his sister and a friend. Who knows? Who knows? Guys, lovely to see you all. Same time, same place next week.
Take care.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thanks, Lisa. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.